Welcome to the Jedi Hangout. This is Alfred. Today I want to give my reaction to the Ahsoka series. I was waiting until it was completely done before I gave an overall holistic response. Now I don't want to do something that a lot of other people do, is do a whole breakdown of the entire series. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I do on this channel. But I like to give reactions and little reviews and my thoughts and what I thought of the TV series myself. And I just wanted to give a little bit of my thoughts and a lot of the things that I saw on there, and just how I felt about it in general and speaking. So with that said, let me go ahead and talk about some of the things that I thought about it. First of all, I did feel like it had a slow start. The first two episodes were kind of slow, and I'm glad that they were dropped on the same day, so that made it up for it, that the fact that they were a little slow. But it has some really good scenes in it. That's some really good, exciting scenes in it that I enjoyed it. It was very mysterious, but also very interesting at the same respect, about them looking for this map that goes to this unknown planet in a remote galaxy, which is a very interesting thing that has come up. And this is one thing that I like about this series, because this is the first time that the Star Wars universe is looking into a remote galaxy outside of the novels and in those type of media, which are now in legend. So this is basically the first time in canon that we visited another galaxy, another planet in another galaxy. So I'm really glad that that has happened already at this time in Star Wars. That adds another dimension as to what's going to happen with this other galaxy, this other planet. We're yet to have to know, because we've only gone there, for the second half of the series, but it obviously is going to be going further into season 2 and probably some other time in the future. So that was really nice. Some of the other scenes that I really liked was the world between the worlds. That was a really exciting scene. I really enjoyed how Ahsoka encountered Anakin. Whether if he was a Force ghost or not, we don't know, but it was a lesson for her to learn, and it went back to the Clone Wars. Oh my God, I really love that scene, because I enjoyed the Clone Wars a lot. I watched it like a ritual, and it would have been interesting to see it in live action, because I think it's one of the best TV series in Star Wars. It was really enjoyable. It went on for a lot of seasons, so that's what made it really exciting, is that we got really into detail with a lot of different aspects and a lot of little elements, the character developments. It was just a great show. So it was a great little flashback to going back to the Clone Wars. Now, this whole thing about Morgan looking for the map and then going off into this remote galaxy to look for Thrawn and finding him. Maybe it was a speculation, I don't know, of her part, that he's in this planet, in this galaxy. She got messages from the Night Sisters from that remote galaxy, which is where speculation they came here to the Star Wars galaxy, into this galaxy here from there. So the Night Sisters of Dathomir were basically originally from there. So that is where this whole thing was going toward. And so that was what the map was showing. So the whales, the Purgles chasing Thrawn away, that is basically, I think we all know about that part. Whoever watched it and everything, is the speculation as well. He must have gone there, because that's where the whales go. So that was really, really interesting. Now, the characters of Baylan Skoll and Shen Hati, I really like these characters. They weren't Sith, and yet they weren't Jedi, someplace in between, gray Jedi. We don't know what they were, but they definitely were, trained in the Jedi ways, obviously. And I really liked the fact that they were having orange lightsabers, showed that they weren't Sith, but yet they were not Jedi. And they had their own agenda. And I really liked, and I'm going to get into this a little bit further, on how Dave Filoni went into mythology. One thing about Star Wars, it is about mythology, and like I said, I'll get into that in just a bit. So some of the other things that I really enjoyed about this show was the characters from Rebels. They all reunited. Well, most of them did. And of course, they found Ezra, and then later on, a little spoiler here, if you haven't watched the final episode, Ezra returns back into the Star Wars galaxy. So that was really nice of him having his reunion with Hera. Although I was really expecting them to like just jump up and hug each other. So, but obviously that's not what they did. So, I really liked it. I really am not going to call this, like some other people have called it, another season of Rebels. It's not. This is a completely different series that has the same characters. It's almost like, well, there's other TV shows where same characters come up again in another series later on. So that's what this is. It's another series. If you're hearing the bird, that's my bird in the background. Christopher, he's a parakeet. Anyway, so it is definitely a different series. And the thing is that it is really, really starting to really look much more evidently clear that the Ahsoka series, the Mandalorian series, and Book of Boba Fett, and all the events are pointing to this Dave Filoni movie that's coming up. Whether it's going to be one movie or a trilogy, I hope it's going to be a trilogy. It really looks like it's going to be where the villain is going to be Thrawn. We got to have this. Okay. Now, I'm not one that likes to put theories out there, but I like to speculate, and I guess I could have a little theories and a little guessing, but it really looks like it's all leading toward this film. And like I said, I hope it's going to be a trilogy, and the name Heir to the Empire has come up, and you never know. That might be the title, Heir to the Empire, because Thrawn is our villain that's going to come back to the Star Wars galaxy and try to bring back the Empire. But that, again, is a speculation that we have, and we don't know if that's true or not. We just have to wait and see. I mean, we've got another 5 to almost 10 years worth of materials and films that are going to be coming up. So I think, we just have to stay tuned to finding that out in itself. Now, going back to Thrawn, I really liked his characterization in live action. He doesn't quite look the same as he did in the animated series or in the comic series back in the 90s, but he still had those really nice red eyes. I really like that. I mean, he looks like this vampire, thing, and I really liked it. Or not a zombie like the stormtroopers, but he looked like a vampire or something. I really liked it. He really looked chilling in live action, and he's exactly the way the animated series was in his style. He has a style, and he really has a style, and that came across very well, and I really enjoyed that. Now, there was a meme that I saw showing the Thrawn animated series, the Rebel series, and Thrawn from live action compared to together, and the meme says Thrawn before COVID and Thrawn after COVID. I kind of thought that was kind of funny. If I find that again, I'll share it here on my channel or on my Instagram. Anyways, so moving on to the other thing that I really like to talk about, something that a few people have talked about, but I want to get more into depth with it because of, I personally, I'm going to say it out loud, I'm a Wiccan, okay? I'm a witch. I've been practicing the craft for 20-something years. And Wicca is a major part of my life. And, you know, it was really nice to see more in depth about the elements of witchcraft in a Star Wars show. Now, Star Wars is all about mythology. George Lucas created a mythology, and it was always an element in there, and which one of the big gripes I have about the sequel trilogies is there was no really mythology in there. That was my biggest gripe on it. You know, everyone has their own gripe about it. That was my gripe about it, that there was no elements of mythology in there. But the prequel trilogies had mythology, the original trilogy had mythology, and now the Ahsoka series has mythology. So Balin and Sati, they are definitely from the Norse mythology. That is really, really loud and clear over there. And of course, the Night Sisters, three. They come in three, the Night Sisters. Now, this is really big in Wicca. The Maiden, the Mother, and the Crone. The three phases of the moon. This is how we look at the goddess. And three is a big number in the pagan community, and I'm going to say pagan community at large because not everyone is Wiccan, but they also practice other goddess traditions and other pagan traditions, and the triple goddess is a major part of our tradition, and it actually goes back to a book that was written, I think around the 50s or 60s, called The White Goddess, which also was an inspiration for John Williams, the composer of Star Wars, of course, for a musical piece that he composed in the 90s for the bassoon, The Five Sacred Trees, which leads to Duel of the Fates, which also comes from pagan white goddess, triple goddess mythologies. And I'm going to probably make a video on that sometimes in the near future. But going back to this, it was really great to see this. Now, many people in the pagan community are Star Wars fans. I mean, old, young, middle, whatever, Star Wars fans. I mean, every one of them, huge Star Wars fans. And we like seeing pagan themes in Star Wars because we love it. And this one was probably like literally the biggest one of all, to having the image of the triple goddess, magic, force being wielded by magic, green magic and stuff like that. Now, as into if this is real in the real magical community or the pagan community, no, it's not. We have the triple goddess, but we don't conjure up zombies. We don't conjure things up like that. We don't do these evil spells. Honestly, us Wiccans, we live a normal life. So the thing is, but we like to see these magical things that are in the media. Now, there's a big debate whether or not if it represents us in a positive or a negative way. I am part of a pagan academic conference where we talk about a lot of these topics. And I myself personally have done presentations about how the media represents us, and have done surveys among the pagans to see which puts us in a positive light or a negative light, or just neutral. And I can't wait till the next big conference so that I can take a poll on the Ahsoka series, because I'm pretty sure every single one of them have watched it. So anyways, I just really needed to put that in there because it's really important to note that it includes people don't think of pagans as a large religious community, but it is. It is a huge community made up of people of middle class and upper class and all sorts of people. And most of them, I'm going to say about 80 to 90% are Star Wars fans. And I know that as a fact because I know a lot of them here in Los Angeles, especially since I was the vice president of Pagan Pride LA, which is actually happening this coming weekend. Happens every fall. So I'm going to probably ask around and see what everyone thought about this series. So I just wanted to add that in there. Okay, so moving on to some other aspects of it, the soundtrack. Now, me being a composer, I do analyze music, and I analyze the music of Star Wars, which I haven't analyzed the music for the Ahsoka series. There's just too much of it, and it takes time to doing analysis. It just literally is something that takes a huge amount of time to doing the analysis. So I haven't done the analysis yet, but an overall picture, Kevin Keidner did a wonderful job with the score. Absolutely brilliant. And I love the fact that he used the Ahsoka theme from Clone Wars in this series too, because of, well, that's her theme. Her theme needs to show up where she shows up. So he reused her theme. And this is an important part of film music. So her theme is in there. The soundtrack is available right now to stream. It's called Ahsoka Soundtrack Volume 1, Episodes 1 through 4, and that's been available for several weeks now. You can get it from Apple Music, you can get it from Amazon Music, or wherever else that you listen to your streaming music. I wish it would come in CDs still, because I like to collect the CDs of the music of Star Wars. So anyways, it's available, and the most important thing that I noted is that very first music that we heard when we saw the crawl, the new type of a crawl. It had a very tribal entrance, and I really liked that. A mysterious tribal entrance, and that set the mood for everything. And the most important thing that we probably will hear the most is the end credit theme, where it starts off with the cellos, really soft, very somber, and it builds and it builds and it builds to the Ahsoka theme. And that is really important. That is what we're going to have in our minds more than anything else from this film when it comes to the music. And it was meant to be that way. It was really meant to be that way. And kudos for him for creating such a great orchestration of the theme, Ahsoka's theme. Kudos for him for the moods and the other themes. I heard a lot of themes while I was watching and also listening to the soundtrack. Now, tomorrow, October 6th, October 6th, Friday, Volume 2 will be released for streaming, and that's for episodes 5 through 8. So I'm going to download it tomorrow and make sure that I listen to it myself. So I encourage you to also listen to the soundtrack, because it really adds to it. None of this could happen without the music. So the music is really, really important when it comes to the films and TV shows. Now, a couple of other things I want to mention is Ahsoka's fight with Balin. She had 2 lightsabers duels with him. The second one was amazing. I really like the fact that she had both her lightsabers and they were at it, and it was really, really an excellent, I think of all the lightsaber duels, I really felt like that was the best one of all of them. And her battle with Morgan at the end was superbly done, exquisitely done. Morgan, who the actress has training in the martial arts, really exemplified all of her abilities in here. And I absolutely loved it. It looked realistic. I felt like they were really battling with each other. And that's because of her training. And that really added to it. And of course, everything else on the series I really liked. It's really showing some interesting things that are happening. Like I said, it really is setting up for, I'm thinking it might be called Heir to the Empire. And that is what's coming up. Now, the thing is, we haven't really seen much of Luke, Leia, or Han, or Chewbacca. In these shows, we saw a little bit of Luke. We've heard about Leia. They may be coming. I mean, they're there. And we'll probably see them, probably in this motion picture or in the future films. But anyways, I'll talk a little bit more about the Ahsoka series and a little bit more about the other elements. I just wanted to make this video right now and just to talk a little bit about what was in the show and my reaction. So I really liked it, and it had flaws to it. I enjoyed it, but it had flaws. Every single TV show or film is going to have flaws to it, and there's going to be that. No way around it. But I really see where Dave Filoni is going with this, and I really like it. So, anyways, if you enjoyed this content, if you're enjoying my channel, please Press the subscribe button and the like button to get future contents. There are future things coming up. I have an episode that I'm planning on the Shadows of the Empire and another episode about Sabak. So anyways, drop a comment below on what you thought about the Ahsoka series. I'd like to hear your input on it too. And with that, I'll talk to everyone later. And may the Force be with you.